Is this a sign of the end of something that was once believed to be unshakable? What really happened behind the scenes when Jungkook suddenly mentioned separation in his deeply emotional live broadcast? And why did Jimin's reaction become the main spotlight of the world that night? Was it just a misunderstanding or a clue to a major decision that had been kept hidden? That night, millions of armies around the world were glued to their screens. Jungkook, with visibly swollen eyes and a tone unlike his usual self, went live without prior notice. Many initially thought this was just a regular broadcast, a gesture of love from the Golden Magne. But not that night. The atmosphere shifted drastically within minutes of him speaking. "If we ever go separate ways," that sentence struck like thunder. No one expected it. No one was prepared. Some armies even admitted to dropping their phones in shock. And at the same moment, Jimin's social media accounts showed activity. Shortly after Jungkook uttered those words that sparked thousands of theories, Jimin made a surprising move, silently exiting the private live room he had scheduled on Weverse, as if something had suddenly shaken him emotionally. Did Jimin know beforehand that Jungkook would say that? Were they not in good communication? Or on the contrary, did Jimin feel betrayed because such a big decision was announced without involving him? Jungkook's statement about going separate ways was indeed not explained in detail. He didn't mention any members' names, nor contracts, nor the future of BTS explicitly. But his choice of words was highly emotional, as if there was a heavy burden he had been carrying and could no longer hide. That one short sentence brought a storm, breaking the silence of the night into a chaos of questions, sadness, and uncontrollable anxiety. "If we go separate ways, I hope you'll still be happy," he said softly. In a world where every word from Jungkook can shape opinions and determine BTS's future, such a sentence is no small matter. Since debut, BTS has been known for extraordinary unity, even in the face of storms. But now, for the first time in a long while, a voice sounded like doubt, a voice suggesting different paths were being considered. Jimin, long known to be emotionally close to Jungkook, seemingly couldn't hide his shock. Moments after Jungkook's live ended, Jimin's private account status showed active for a few seconds, then disappeared. Armies who noticed this immediately flooded Weverse with panicked comments and huge questions. What's really happening between them? Why didn't Jimin show up? Does this have to do with the rumors about conflicting solo projects? Music observers and K-pop industry analysts began piecing things together. Since BTS announced their focus on individual activities, many have feared this separation could become permanent. Yet none of them had ever spoken of it with certainty or pain. Until Jungkook's broadcast, which shook all convictions. What worried people more was Jungkook's facial expression when he said those words. Not just sad or tired, but like someone bearing a hidden wound. For many armies, this wasn't just about the phrase "separate ways," but about the pain that may have been hidden by those who always seemed cheerful in public. Netizens started digging up past moments between Jimin and Jungkook, searching for clues or missed tension. Was there really emotional distance growing? Did their solo projects create a new dynamic not everyone understood? Meanwhile, Jimin's silent reaction only deepened public curiosity. In previous times, Jimin was always the most protective of Jungkook. But this time, his reaction was different. No defense, no message of support, not even a sign that they had discussed it together beforehand. One theory circulating suggests Jungkook's statement may relate to the emotional burden he feels from the relentless public expectations. In recent months, pressure on him as the still publicly active BTS member and solo artist hasn't been light. He must represent hope, strength, and consistency, while the world watches his every move. In such a situation, one sentence can be a release from stress long bottled up, but the most pressing question remains: what really happened between Jungkook and Jimin? And why was Jimin's reaction so drastic? Some armies voiced deeper concerns. "We can accept separation if it's best for them, but not this kind of ambiguity," one fan tweeted. Another added, "We're not just spectators. We've been with them for more than a decade. We deserve to know if this is the beginning of a permanent farewell. Korean media began highlighting the moment. Some even linked Jungkook's statement to South Korea's military policies and the current enlistment of members. Was this connected to new agreements being formulated by the agency? Or was this a personal step Jungkook wanted to take, either for rest, a new direction, or ending a certain phase in his life? More surprisingly, a HYB insider revealed that Jungkook had long shown signs of unease. He often asked, "If I'm not here anymore, you'll keep going, right?" It sounded like a joke, but there was something behind it. They said in an anonymous interview published by a local outlet, "To this day, neither Jimin nor Jungkook has officially addressed what going separate ways truly meant. But its impact has already been felt. ARMY is starting to split between those trying to stay strong and those preparing for the worst. But one thing is certain, Jungkook's brief sentence opened Pandora's box long sealed by fans and media. And Jimin's emotional reaction, unlike anything before, proved something big is happening behind the scenes. Is this just a passing storm? Or the beginning of a new chapter no one ever imagined? In a world where ARMY's loyalty is BTS's core strength, this moment becomes their biggest emotional test since taking separate paths. Now, all eyes are on one thing: how the relationship between two seemingly inseparable souls, Jimin and Jungkook, will continue. One question now echoes throughout the fandom. If Jungkook is truly preparing to go separate ways, will Jimin follow him or stand against it? But after the massive wave of speculation and overwhelming concern from fans, several clarifications and facts began surfacing. Hours after Jungkook's live ended, HYB representatives indirectly issued a statement saying there were no plans or talks about a permanent separation between BTS members, including Jungkook and Jimin. They clarified that Jungkook's words were personal emotional expressions, not official statements regarding the group's future. Additionally, a close staff member confirmed that Jungkook's separate ways comment did not refer to BTS disbanding, but rather to his own reflections on hard times and personal feelings under public pressure. In that context, it's understandable that an artist of Jungkook's level, who has worked non-stop for over a decade, would feel tired and want to express his emotions honestly. Meanwhile, the mystery behind Jimin's reaction was finally answered. Jimin posted a short message to fans, expressing his full support for Jungkook and urging ARMY not to be swayed by the circulating speculations. He also affirmed that BTS remains solid and that nothing has changed in their relationship. Thus, it can be concluded that the rumors about separation or conflict between Jungkook and Jimin are not true. What happened was merely a misinterpretation of an emotional moment from an artist being vulnerable with his fans. BTS remains strong, and ARMY continues to be an essential part of their journey.